ما بلغة. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم وفقنا من الأقوال والأعمال لما تحبه وترضى. قال الله تبارك وتعالى ولما جهزهم when Yusuf وجاء إخوة يوسف, and Yusuf's brothers, they came to Yusuf, فدخلوا عليه, and they entered upon him, فعرفهم, Yusuf recognized them, وهم والحال هم, whilst they له منكرون, they didn't recognize him. We go to the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, where Yusuf was finally out of prison and then he became the minister of finance. He was in charge of the treasure, the finance of the people of Egypt. Yusuf alayhi salam's brothers, his 10 brothers from one side, so one side of his father, along with his brother Binyamin, where are they at this time? Where are they? Do you hear the question I asked? Where are they? Where is the 10 brothers and Binyamin? Where are they? Where's Yusuf? Where did Yusuf grow up? Where were his brothers and his father, etc.? They were in Sham. And they live in Sham. That time when he was thrown down the wall, etc., they were in Sham, they were living in Sham, and they're still in Sham. Yusuf, the dream that he saw, he interpreted it as what? 7 years, everyone should harvest, and then whatever they need to use, they should use. Whatever remains, they should save, right? Because there's going to be another 7 years of drought. That was his interpretation of the king's dream, correct? When Yusuf becomes the minister of finance, he needs to implement that now. He needs to implement that. So what happened was, the first 7 years, Yusuf told all of the people of Egypt, but also around the world as well. The message went around the world that people should harvest, 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 harvest. Those 7 years went by. The story sped up. Those 7 years went by. During those 7 years, what did Yusuf do? He would take whatever remains from the people of Egypt, so they will use some of the food they have, and then whatever remains of the food, of the grains, etc., he would take it off them, and then he would store it away. Because that's what he interpreted in the dream, right? So once those 7 years goes by, the 7 years of drought began. And these 7 years of drought are around Egypt, but also in the surrounding areas as well, which Sham is also a part of. Now, Yusuf's brothers, his 10 brothers, and Binyamin are with their father Yaqub in Sham. They are also going through the drought. They're also going through drought. But the financial strategy, the economical strategy that Yusuf suggested to his people in Egypt, it didn't reach the people of Sham. So they just used all of their food. They didn't do what the people of Egypt were doing, which is saving, saving, saving. So the people of Sham now, they're low on supplies of food. So what happened was, during this drought, Yusuf's brothers, they came to Egypt because they heard that there is a finance minister in Egypt who has stored a lot of grains, a lot of food for his people when the drought comes. So what they done was they packed their bags, they went on their camels, they got their bags, etc., to get the food supplies, and then they now begin their journey to go to Egypt, to this so-called minister of finance, who is very good with economy, and he saved a lot of food during those 7 years where they were just spending it. Are you guys with me so far? So they now make their way to Egypt. When they get to Egypt, they got there. Until now, they don't know it's Yusuf, their brother, etc., etc. What they had done was they got into Egypt and they went to the Minister of Finance. And Allah said, He recognized them. Yusuf recognized the 10 brothers. Binyamin didn't go. It's just the 10 brothers of the first wife. Remember, there's 2 wives, right? First wife, 10 brothers, 10 siblings, 10 children. And then the other wife, she just had Binyamin and Yusuf. Yusuf is gone, Binyamin remains. The 10 brothers, they went to Egypt, Binyamin remained. Why did Binyamin remain? Because a similar issue, which was the father Yaqub was attached to Binyamin just like he was attached to Yusuf alayhi salam. So just like he didn't want Yusuf to go the first time, Binyamin did not go with them this time as well. So he stayed behind. Allah said, He recognized them, that they are the 10 brothers, but they didn't recognize him. Ibn Kathir, rahimahullah, he says, the reason why he recognized them, why do you guys think? I'm trying to make it a bit interactive. Look, Allah said, وَجَاءَ إِخْوَةُ يُوسُفَ فَدَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ فَعَرَفَهُمْ وَهُمْ لَهُ مُنْكِرُونَ. Why did they not recognize him? But he recognized them. Oh, these are my 10 brothers that put me down the well. And at this time you need to remember, Yusuf is what? He's a minister. He's got a crown on his head. He's a high status. He's very well respected. He works for the government. Eh?
It's because at the beginning when they put him in the well, he was a young boy.
Okay.
So at this time, many years have gone past. He's a much older man.
So why isn't he recognizing them? You're right if you can answer the second part.
They were the older brothers. They were already in the age.
Yes. Nah. Yaqub had two wives, remember. The 10 brothers, they were from the first or second wife? First wife. So they were older in age. They were older than Yusuf. But Yusuf, when they threw him down the well, he was a young boy. By the time now he goes to the wife of the minister's house, he's sold as a slave, he goes to prison, stays there for many, many years. Then he becomes the minister of finance. Maybe 10, 20, 30 years have gone by. So he's gone older. But these guys, they've also gone older, but they were already older in age anyway, because they were from the first wife. They were maybe 20, 30 years of age anyway. So when someone is younger to become older, your face changes a lot more. In comparison to someone who is older in age, the older you get, the less you change in terms of your face. That's what Ibn Kathir rahimahullah ta'ala says. He recognized them, they didn't recognize him. وَجَاءَ إِخْوَةُ يُوسُفَ Yusuf's brothers came, the 10, not Binyamin. فَدَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ They entered upon him. فَعَرَفَهُمْ He recognized them, وَهُمْ لَهُ مُنْكِرُونَ They never recognized him. وَلَمَّا جَهَّزَهُمْ When he provided them, بِجَهَازِهِمْ with their supplies of food, قَالَ He said, ائتوني Come back to me next time, بِأَخٍ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَبِيكُمْ Next time come to me with your brother from your father's side, Binyamin. Don't forget to come with him. أَلَا تَوْرَانَ Do you not see? أَنِّي That I, أُوفِي الْكَيْلَ That I give the full measure of grains, the full measure of food. وَأَنَا خَيْرُ الْمُنْزِلِينَ And I am from the best of hosts. فَإِن لَمْ تَأْتُونِي If you do not come bihi with him next time, فَلَا كَيْلَ لَكُمْ Then I'm not going to give you any grains. Indi from my side. وَلَا تَقْرَبُونَ And do not come close to me. They came with the 10 brothers and left Binyamin at home. The reason I mentioned to you is because the father was very inclined to him and attached to him. What Yusuf done was, when they came, he hosted them very well, looked after them very well. He gave them a camel's load of grains, good amount. And that's the amount that he would give to everyone. Now listen carefully to this. The rule that Yusuf had as the Minister of Finance was, anyone who comes to you from outside of Egypt, you're only allowed to give them a camel load of grains, a camel load of food. No more, no less. One person, one camel load. When they went to him, they had a discussion with him. They told him who they are. They said, look, we are a group of boys we live in Sham. Our father is a prophet by the name of Yaqub. We are 10 in total. We are the 10 that are here. Our father, he had 2 wives. One passed away, which is our mother. The other wife, there's 2 boys. One of them, when he was young, he fell inside one of them, when he was young, he was eaten by a wolf. They explained their life story to him. And we also have another brother, who is the brother from our other brother's side, Yusuf's side as well. His name is Binyamin. We left him because our fathers very attached to him. They explained everything to him. Ibn Kathir, he also mentions the reason why he recognized them was when they said this stuff to him. So that's when he realized and said, yep, this is them. So what happened after that was they requested and said, can you basically give us a camel load for who? For our brother Binyamin as well. We don't want to miss him out. We're 10. Give us one more because we left one of our brothers behind. So Yusuf said, first of all, he started to doubt. He said, because they don't know that he realized that it's his brothers. They think he doesn't know. So he said to them, if you want that to be the case and you want me to give for your brother as well, Binyamin, then what you need to do is next time when you come, because they're going to do rounds. They're going to go. When that food finishes, they're going to come back. They're going to go again. When that food finishes, they're going to come back. This is how they need it to be. So they said, next time you come, make sure you bring your brother along with you. I don't believe you guys. Imam al-Baghawi rahimahullah ta'ala, he says that Yusuf said to them, and Yusuf started to doubt that these guys, they might be spies initially, until he recognized them afterwards. So he said to them, I don't believe you. Go, this brother you're claiming exists as well, bring him. Otherwise, I'm not going to give you anything for him the next time you come. وَلَمَّا جَهَّزَهُمْ, when he gave them their amount, بِجَهَازِهِمْ, when he gave them their supplies, قَالَ Yusuf said, إِتُونِي بِأَخٍ لَكُمْ, he said, if you want me to give you supplies for your brother, bring him to me as well. مِنْ أَبِيكُمْ, from your father. أَلَا تَرَوْنَ, look what he said to them. He said, أَلَا تَرَوْنَ, do you not see, أَنِّي أُوفِي الْكَيْلِ, that I fulfill and I give the full measure. He said, look, I give you a good amount. It's not like I'm going to give you a small amount. Just bring your brother as well. وَأَنَا خَيْرُ الْمُنزِلِينَ, do you not see that I am the best of hosts as well? Apparently when they came, he didn't just give the supplies and told them go. He sat them down, gave them some food, gave them tea, relaxed. And he was a good host to them. He looked after them very well. فَإِن لَمْ تَأْتُونِي, if you do not come bihi, with him, فَلَا كَيْلَ لَكُمْ, then I'm not going to give you any grains for him. عِنْدِي, from me, وَلَا تَقْرَبُونَ, and don't come close to me. قالوا, they replied and said, سَنُرَاوِدُ عَنْهُ أَبَاهُ, we will try to convince his father to allow him to come with us. وَإِنَّا, and indeed we, لَفَاعِلُونَ, وَاللَّهِ, we're going to try our best. That shows what? We're going to try, see if his father is going to let us. We'll try our best, and if he doesn't, then what can we do? وَقَالَ, Yusuf said, لِفِتْيَانِهِ, he said to his servants, اجعلوا, put, بِضَاعَتَهُمْ, put their money, the money that they gave to you, put it inside, فِي رِحَالِهِمْ, their saddlebags, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَعْرِفُونَهَا, perhaps they, so that they recognize it, إِذَا انقَلَبُوا إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهِمْ, when they return to their family, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ, so hopefully they return. Yusuf done something smart. Yusuf, he done something clever. Yusuf wants them to come back. And brothers, we need to realize, Yusuf, he wants his brother to come with them on the next trip for a reason. Can Yusuf just give them the camel load of grains for their brother as well? Of course he can. But there's a reason why he's doing this. There's a reason why he's doing this. He's plotting, he's planning. There's something he's trying to get to. So what he done to make sure that they come back, because they might go and be like, you know what, we're not going to go back to him because our father is not letting us. What he did was, Yusuf, again, you need to remember, he's a minister, he's a high level, he works for the government. You can't just go and talk to him and chill with him, etc. You can't. He has servants that work for him. So he's commanding his servants to do this, to do that. Go, charge them this much, give them this much. Take this from them, take that from them. They're doing the job for him. What the servants done is they went, they gave the camel load, and then they took the money from the boys, because you have to pay for it. I'll say again, the only food that remains on the earth is the food that is remaining in Egypt. Because Yusuf smartly, he reserved a lot of the food, the grains that they had harvested for the 7 years, so they can have it in the 7 years of drought. So people are coming and they're buying from Yusuf. They're buying from the Ministry of Finance. Are you guys with me or not? So when they came, this is, by the way, one of the reasons the king really liked Yusuf. That's very clever, it's smart. Because if we're going to do that, then our economy is going to go up as well. That's why he liked him. So these boys, 10 boys, they came, they paid for the load, the 10 load, each person has a camel load of grains. Then they came back to Yusuf. They said, look, this is how much they gave us, etc. Sorted. Yusuf said, the money they gave you, don't give it to me. We're not going to keep it. Take it, put it inside their bags, their saddle bags, without them knowing. Hide it inside their bags and put it in. Why? In the hope that when they return back to their family in Sham, and they open the bags to give the food to their family, they'll see that their money has been returned inside there. When this happens, they are going to see that they've been looked after well. They're going to see that Yusuf has treated them well. Yusuf is a good man. Yusuf is a person who does ihsan. They will see this. They don't know it's Yusuf at the moment. And then they're going to continue returning back. وَقَالَ لِفِتْيَانِهِ Yusuf said to his servants, فِتْيَانِ. If you make the ta into a ya, make the noon into a ya. La. Fitya. Make the noon into a ta. What do we have? لِفِتْيَاتِهِ. Sah? Change the noon into a ta. All we've done is change the dots, right? We just added one dot. Fityanihi, make into a ta. Fityatihi. Remove the alif. What do we have? Lifit yatihi. Are you guys with me or not? These are two qira'at and they both have similar meanings. Fityanihi means servants. Fityatihi means one servant. So fityah means one servant. And subhanAllah, this proves to us and shows again the consistency of the miraculous nature of the Qur'an. That the qira'at, there's only certain words that you can change, and they are according to the dots. Look, there's no other word that you can actually bring that would make sense here. That's similar to when Allah said, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, in ja'akum fasiqun binaba'in, fatabayyanu. There's another qira'ah where you change the dots, which says, fatathabbatu. The meanings are similar. Fatabayyanu, clarify. Fatathabbatu, make sure this information is true. Clarify and make sure this is true. Similar meanings. وَقَالَ لِفِتْيَانِهِ or وَقَالَ لِفِتْيَتِهِ. He said to one of his servants, اجعلوا بضاعتهم. Put their money في رحالهم in their saddle bags. Why? لعلهم يعرفونها, so they may recognize the money. إذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم, when they return to their family. لعلهم يرجعون, then perhaps they're going to return to us once they see that we're treating them well. فلما رجعوا إلى أبيهم, when they returned to their father Yaqub in Sham, قالوا, they said to their father, يا أبانا, O our father, منع منا الكيل, further supplies have been prevented from us. منع منا الكيل, further supplies of food have been prevented from us. فأرسل معنا, so send with us أخانا, our brother, نكتل, so we may receive our measure, so we may receive the increased measure of supplies. وإنا, and we are going to له لحافظون, protect him. قال, their father said, هل آمنكم, should I trust you عليه with Binyamin? إِلَّا كَمَا أَمِنْتُكُمْ. Shall I trust you the way I trusted you before? عَلَى أَخِيهِ, with his brother. Shall I do that again? مِنْ قَبْلُ, before. فَاللَّهُ, indeed Allah is خَيْرٌ حَافِظًا. Allah is the best protector. وَهُوَ, and He, Allah, is Ar-Rahmah Ar-Rahimeen, the most merciful of all that are merciful. They went back to Sham and they told their father, our father, we went to the Minister of Finance in Egypt. He treated us very well. He looked after us. He was the best of hosts. For us 10, he gave us 10 camel loads of grains. We told him about our brother Binyamin and he said that I prevent you from any further supplies until you come with him as well. So, oh our father, we've been prevented from further supplies, so please send him with us. And don't worry, we're going to make sure we look after him. Their father remembered what they had done to Yusuf. And at this time, their father doesn't know that the Minister of Finance they're going to is Yusuf either. He just sees it as a man who is in charge of the finance and the treasure of Egypt, who is dealing with them very well, and he wants my younger son to also come next time. That's all he knows. So he remembered what they'd done to Yusuf and said, do you really think I'm going to believe you? Should I believe you and entrust you with Binyamin the way I trusted you with his brother Yusuf before? And I know what happened with him, that you claimed he was eaten by a wolf. What happened? The father accepted. Father said, indeed Allah is the one who protects. I put my trust in Allah, He's going to protect him for me, inshallah. And Allah is merciful, so He won't let me down. فَلَمَّا رَجُعُوا, when they returned to their father, إِلَى أَبِيهِمْ, to their father, قالوا, they said, يَا أَبَانَا, O our father, مُنِعَ مِنَّا الْكَيْلُ, further supplies have been prevented from us. فَأَرْسِلْ مَعَنَا, so send with us, أَخَانَا, our brother, نَكْتَلْ, we will receive our full measure if you allow us to do that. وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ, and indeed we are going to promise him. وَإِنَّا لَهُ, indeed we are. Inna is harfu tawqid. له لحافظون is the lam al-ibtida I told you about before. The lam al-ibtida. Did I mention that before? I did. That means you guys forgot, and I shouldn't keep confusing you with Arabic stuff. If I say to you, ذهب محمد, لا. If I say to you, Muhammad قائم, what does that mean? Muhammad is standing. If I put a lam there and I say La Muhammadun قائم, this lam is called lamul ibtida. It goes at the beginning of, it goes in the beginning of sentences that have a noun, that begin with a noun. Muhammadun قائم is a sentence which is a noun-like sentence. Do you see any verb? No. If you put a lam in the beginning of any of these sentences, this is called lamul ibtida. It's meant is to give emphasis. Are you with me so far? Very good. If I put this lam here is the same, it's lamul ibtida. But the sentence, it didn't go in the beginning of it. Look, وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. Did it go in the beginning of the sentence? Where's the beginning of the sentence? وَإِنَّا. Inna is the beginning of the sentence. Right or wrong? Why did it not go in the beginning of the sentence here? Why did it get taken to the end of the sentence? Because inna is also meant to give emphasis. And it's also a harf. It's a letter. Lam is also a letter. Two letters that do the same job in Arabic can't go together. You can't say wala inna. You can't say that. Or you can't say wa inna la. Are you guys with me or not? So the lam that was in the beginning went at the back. The lam that was in the beginning, she went at the back. This now gives two tawqeeds. It's as though they're saying, wa inna, indeed we are. Lahu Yusuf, Binyamin, lahafiduna, oh our father, we're definitely going to make sure we look after him. It's a similar promise that they gave with who? With Yusuf alayhi salam. What happened after that? وَلَمَّا فَتَحُوا, when they opened مَتَاعَهُمْ, when they opened their bags, وَجَدُوا, they found بِضَاعَتَهُمْ, they found their money, رُدَّتْ إِلَيْهِمْ, they found their money returned to them. The money they spent to pay for the food, they saw that, subhanAllah, the money is inside our bags. قالوا, they said, يا أبانا, O our father, ما نبغي أكثر من هذا. O our father, we don't want anything else except this. All we want is this type of good dealings that we had. Look, our money was returned to this. This is all we're looking for. هذه بضاعتنا. This is our money. ردت إلينا. Look, it was returned to us. ونمير أهلنا. And we are going to go and travel out for our family. وَنَحْفَظُ أَخَانَا. And we're going to protect our brother. We promised this. وَنَزْدَادُ. We're going for extra. كَيْلَ بَعِيرٍ. Camel load of grains. We are going for extra camel load of grains. ذَلِكَ that. كَيْلٌ. يَسِيرٌ is an easily secured load to achieve. Be easy for us. We'll go, travel, come back. This minister will look after us. Easy thing. Their father, has still not accepted. The rewind. Their father didn't accept yet. What did he ask them? He said, do you really think I'm going to allow you to take Binyamin and trust you like I trusted you before? That's all he said to them. So what did they do? They gave up. They said, you know what? What can we do? Our father's not letting us. What have they not done yet? They haven't opened the bags and started giving the food to their family. They haven't done that. They literally just came back and told their father, our father, next time we go, we need to take our brother with us. And then their father responded. Then, khalas, they said, you know what, forget this. Let's just give you the food. When they opened, they saw the food was in there, but the money that they paid for was also in there. Who put it in there? Not Yusuf. Yusuf's servants. On the command of Yusuf. Why did Yusuf do that? Look at the plot he was going for. Look at the plan. Look at the smart plot that he had. What's the reason Yusuf did that? لَعَلَّهُمْ يَعْرِفُونَهَا إِذَا انْقَلَبُوا إِلَيْهِمْ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. That's the reason. So when they go back to their families, they may see it, and then hopefully they will come back with Binyamin as well. Why? Because their father will see that, mashallah, this minister is a good man, he helps them out, he gives money back, he gives gifts, he's hosting them well, etc. So what happened? Once they opened it now, exactly that happened. So they opened it, and they said, look, our father, look what's inside here. Oh, our father, look. This minister is a kind minister. He looks after people. He's an amazing host. He didn't just give us grains. He didn't even charge us for it. Our money, look, our money's still here. Oh, our father, all we're going for is this. We're not going to do anything to Binyamin. We're not going to throw him down a well like we said, like what happened before. We're not going to allow fox to eat him, a wolf to eat him, sorry. All we're going for is this. We don't want anything apart from this for extra supplies. And this is indeed an easy thing to do because Yusuf is going to treat us well. وَلَمَّا فَتَحُوا مَتَاعَهُمْ. When they opened their bags, وَجَدُوا بِضَاعَتْهُمْ. They found their money, رُدَّتْ إِلَيْهِمْ. Returned to them. رُدَّتْ إِلَيْهِمْ. Returned to them suggests and shows the fact that is in the مبني للمجهول, returned to them. It shows that they didn't know who returned it to them. Someone says, they should have said, هذه بضاعتنا ردها إلينا فتيان يوسف or فتيان يعني الملك. They should have said, look, this is our money that the minister servants returned to us. They never said that. The fact that it's in the pattern of مبني للمجهول, they don't know who it is. ردت إلينا, it was returned to us. This again shows there's a plot of Yusuf that they never knew about. قالوا, they said, يا أبانا, O our father, ما نبغي. بغى يبغي is to want something. What did I translate as? ما نبغي. In Arabic, what did I say? ما نبغي أكثر من هذا. Is that in the Qur'an? That's not in the Qur'an. أكثر من هذا is not in the Quran. This is another example of what? What's this another example of? A deleted word. What's your name? Huh? Ibrahim. MashaAllah, you're very, very skilled. You can be on your phone playing games and you know everything as well, MashaAllah. How are you doing both? Ajib. Ma nabghi, we do not want. Where's the object? What is the thing that they want or don't want? I want. If you say, Wallahi, Mum, I want, and you stop, is that going to make sense? Where is the thing that you want? That's called the maf'ul bihi. It's also been deleted. Again, that's the Qur'an. It comes a lot. هذه بضاعتنا. This is our money. ردت إلينا, that has been returned to us. ونمير أهلنا. And we are going to travel again for our family. ونحفظ أخانا. And we're going to protect our brother. ونزداد كيل بعير. And we're going to go for an extra camel load of grains. ذلك, that is كيل يسير, is an easily secured load. What did their father say? قال, their father said, لن أرسله, I will never send Binyamin معكم, with you. I will never do this. حتى, until تؤتوني, until you come to me with موثقا, an oath. من الله, an oath by Allah, that you swear by Allah, saying what? لَتَأْتُنَّنِي, that wallahi you will bring him back. Wallahi you will bring him back, and wallahi you will bring him back. Bihi, with Binyamin, you will come back with him. Illa, except, the only time that you're not allowed to come back with him is and yuhata bikum, that you're overpowered. A calamity happens, a disaster happens, you're overpowered by others. فَلَمَّا آتَوْهُ, when they gave him مَوْثِقَهُمْ, their oath by Allah, قال, he said, Yaqub said, Allahu, Allah is ala ma naqulu wakilun, he's a witness and one who's watching over that which you say. Their father responded and said, because look, Yaqub, who's the father, is there anything in it? Does he want, how shall I word this? Does Yaqub want them and Binyamin to go and get the load or not? Does he want it or does he not want it? Both. If you take out his fear of Binyamin losing him, actually wants to. There's something in it for him. What's in it for him? They're going to get more food. The only place there's food remaining, brothers, I said, is in Egypt with this minister. He's the only man who done a smart, economical, strategic thing. So the father, he wants them to go. So he's stuck in two minds. That's what I want you to understand. It's not just, nope, I don't want you to go, khalas, la. He said, no, I really want you to go, and I don't mind you going. But I'm not going to let you go until you give me an oath that you swear by Allah you're going to return Binyamin. And the same thing that happened last time is not going to happen again. So what did they do? They swore by Allah. They said, Wallahi, our father will bring him back. We will look after him. We will make sure we bring him back. Then their father said, to teach them the etiquettes of trusting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said to them, the only time I'm going to allow you, and I'm not going to hold you accountable, is if you're overpowered. Yani overpowered meaning you're on the way, you're traveling, and then bypassers kidnap him, for example. Or he's on the way and something happens to him. Yani that's not in your hands, you're overpowered. They gave him that oath, and then he allowed them to go. Before they went, he gave them some advices. And he said the following. وَقَالَ Yaqub said, Ya baniya, O my children, La tadkhulu, do not enter Egypt, min babin wahidin, from one gate, from one door. وَادْخُلُوا, and enter Egypt, min abwabin mutafarriqa, enter Egypt from different doors. وَمَا أُغْنِي عَنْكُمْ, and I am not going to avail from you, min Allahi min shay, I'm not going to avail from you any harm that comes from Allah. I don't have any power to prevent any harm. إِنِ الْحُكْمُ إِلَّا لِلَّهِ. Indeed, all hukum, all ruling, all decree belongs to Allah. عَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلْتُ. Upon Him I put my trust. وَعَلَيْهِ, and upon Him فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلُونَ. May all those who put their trust in things put their trust in Him. He gave them an advice which all fathers should do. And here we learn from Yaqub the etiquette of nurturing your children upon the tawheed of Allah and to put their full trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yaqub, Yusuf alayhi salam, we said, he was given half of beauty, right? Yusuf, who's very beautiful. Sah? His 10 brothers are also very beautiful. Why? Because their mother, so Yusuf alayhi salam himself, put him to a side. Yusuf's father is Yaqub. Who's Yaqub's father? Ishaq. Who's Ishaq's father? Ibrahim. Ibrahim was married to who? Hajar and Sarah. It's mentioned that Sarah was from the most beautiful women on the face of this earth. Allah gave her beauty like no other women. Ibn Kathir, he says, Yusuf was given a separate beauty, which was half of beauty anyway. Yaqub's other children, the 10 boys, along with Binyamin as well, they all have the same great-grandmother, right? Or should I say great-grandmother? Who is who? Sarah. They all go back to Sarah. So it's mentioned, Ibn Kathir says that the genes that they had taken from her through their lineage made them also very handsome. Number one, keep that in your mind. Number two, they were going as a clan. They were going as a group, united brothers, as one. When they go and they're traveling to Egypt, their father feared for them evil eye. Their father feared that when people see 11 boys that are from 2 parents, that number one are so handsome, so good looking, mashallah, Allah has given them beauty, they'll get evil eye. But also the fact that they're all together, they're all going as one group. Imagine 11 brothers traveling together for a mission. This is something beautiful to see. Likewise, they're all from who? One father. So their father feared, because it's not a norm for someone to have this many kids. One father have 11 kids. This is something, mashallah, it's good. It's a larger number of children. So their father feared evil eye for them. So what did he say to them? He said, "Oh my children, when you get to the borders of Egypt," at that time there weren't terminals, Terminal 1, Terminal 2, Terminal 3. You go on an airplane, then you enter from here. That didn't exist. The way you would enter into a country is you travel by foot, not by air. When you get to the borders, the border was enclosed off by a large wall, a sur, huge wall that would enclose the borders of the country. And it was very tall, high, so you can't climb it. Are you with me so far? These walls, which are very wide, it goes the entire border. There would be gates, one gate and another gate and another gate and another gate, or door or gate, whatever you want to say. So they have a choice of 2. They all get to the border and they enter through one. Or when they get to the border, they all disperse and go through different doors. Their father said, "Oh my children, I'll let Binyamin go with you, but when you go, make sure you enter through different doors so you don't get evil eye." So what did he do? He took his means, right? This is a means, this is a sabab. Akhudul asbab. But what did he say after that? He said, "However, despite you taking your means, if any harm does come to you and you do get evil eye, then I am not in control and I cannot protect you from anything. Only Allah is the one in control of the decree." Look at that, subhanAllah. He's teaching their children, even though I'm your father, connect yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even though I'm your father and I'm helping you and I'm guiding you in life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that you should connect yourself to. Then he said, Is 8:39 the adhan or the iqamah? What time is the adhan? 32. Huh? Then he said, go. I put my trust in Allah. And anyone who puts their trust in human beings and other things should put their trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, I want to quickly mention a benefit. If you've heard this before, don't answer, inshallah. Don't say out the answer. Don't call out the answer. I'm going to ask you guys the question, and then I'm going to give you the benefit, and we'll stop there before salah. Look at the end what he said. He said, alayhi tawakkalt. Alayhi tawakkalt. Wa alayhi falyatawakkal al-mutawakkilun. That part, yeah? Everyone there? Very good. In translation, what is that going to be? Alayhi tawakkaltu. Upon him, Allah, I put my trust. Yes? What came first? Upon him or I put my trust? Which one came first? Upon him. In English even, what should come first in English? Do you normally say, I put my trust in him, or in him I put my trust? You say, I put my trust upon Allah, or upon Allah I put my trust. Which one is correct? I'll say again. If you're talking to you, say, Akhi, I put my trust in Allah. Or, Akhi, upon Allah I put my trust. Which one is English-wise more correct? Who thinks it's the second one? You're all right. First one is more correct. If you're reading Shakespeare in English literature, Shakespeare, he might say, upon Allah you put your trust. And it's more formal. You guys know about Shakespeare? They're both correct, but the default English is fi'l. I put my trust upon Allah second. Alright? What happened here? What happened here? Other way around. Very good. Arabic is the same. Arabic, alayhi is called jar and majroor. Alayhi, ala, and then he. Ala is a harfu jar, and he is the letter that comes after harfu jar. Don't worry so far, okay? It should have been tawakkaltu alayhi. That's the default. It's correct. Why is it this way? Anyone put your hands up. Someone can come who doesn't know Arabic very well, an Orientalist or an atheist, can come and say there's a grammatical mistake in the Qur'an. And that grammatical mistake is, it should have had the jar majroor at the end, which is correct. You're right. They're right. But they're wrong. Why is it alayhi tawakkaltu and why is it correct? Is it time? 37 you said, sir? 32. Anyone know the answer? By the way, the tawakkul in the Quran is always like that. Look even next. وَعَلَيْهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلُونَ. It should have been فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلُونَ عَلَيْهِ. Again, same thing. In the Quran you see a lot, tawakkul, you say alayhi and then tawakkul. The alayhi comes first. Even in Surah Mulk. فلما رأوه زلفة سيئت وجوه الذين كفروا وقيل هذا الذي كنتم به تدعون قل أرأيتم إن أهلكني الله ومن معي أو رحمنا فمن يجير الكافرين من عذاب أليم قل هو الرحمن آمنا به وعليه توكلنا. Always. I have another question for you. Bihi, you know bihi, the word bihi is the same as alayhi. And bi is a jar, he is majroor. Bihi, alayhi, they're all similar. Bihi means in him. If you want to say I believe in him, or should you say in him I believe? The word bihi means in him. Are you going to say I believe in him, or are you going to say in him I believe? Which one is correct? I believe in him. Sah? In Surah Mulk, آمنا bihi, Allah said. Why did Allah not say bihi amanna wa alayhi tawakkalna? Why is it not the same? Are you guys confused? Are you with me? If we're following this, alayhi tawakkalt, there's something going on, is my point. The rule is, when you put the alayhi first, or the bihi first, when that comes first, and you say, in him I believe, upon him I put my trust, this is called taqdeemul jar wal majroor, is to bring this one first. The reason you do that is to give exclusivity to this thing. Yani you're saying only this thing. So you say, alayhi tawakkaltu, only upon Allah I put my trust, no one else. But if you say, tawakkaltu alayhi, there's a possibility upon it, I put my trust in him, but maybe something else. You're not making it exclusive. You guys know what exclusive means, yeah? You guys with me or not? So I'm going to conclude with this. I have a question if you understood that. If you understood what I just said, putting bihi or alayhi first brings about exclusivity of that thing. Yes? So why did Allah say, when He said in Surah Mulk, مَن يُجِيرُنَا قُلْ أَرَأَيْتُمْ إِنْ أَهْلَكَنِيَ اللَّهُ وَمَن مَعِيَ وَرَحِمَنَا. If Allah destroys us, if Allah destroys me, Muhammad said, say to them, O Muhammad, if Allah destroys me and everybody with me, then who's going to save the disbelievers? Allah said, say to them, O Muhammad, آمنا bihi, we believe in him, Allah, we believe in him. آمنا bihi, وعليه توكلنا, and upon him we put our trust. Why is it not consistent? Why is it not bihi آمنا وعليه توكلت وعليه توكلنا, or آمنا bihi وتوكلنا عليه? Why is it not consistent, the same? Hands up.
Because by doing it normally at first part of the sentence, it makes you like, it gives you continuation. Like,
What does continuation mean?
like you can add, you can say like go on, add something more to it.
La, wrong. Next.
You bring the down the root.
Yes. Yes.
So in the other case where it's not,
Stop there. Anyone else? You got the right answer. Anyone else? Anyone else? We have to give him a prize, inshallah. Finish off.
in this case,
It sounds like you know it.
in this case it's not showing exclusivity because there are people who believe in hope.
Ooh, 99% correct. طيب, listen carefully. When we make alayhi or bihi first, it shows exclusivity. Only this. صح? Okay. Allah said, آمنا bihi. Allah never said bihi آمنا. If it would have been bihi آمنا, that would mean only Allah I believe, nothing else. صح? How many pillars of Iman is there? Do we only believe in Allah? No. What else do we believe in? وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر. So if it would have been bihi آمنا, Iman has only been exclusified to Allah, which is not correct. But this proves tawakkul should only be for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I will continue after salah, inshallah. وقال يا بني, and Yaqub said to his children before they left, لا تدخلوا, do not enter من باب واحد, don't enter Egypt from one door. وادخلوا, enter من أبواب متفرقة, from different doors. وما أغني عنكم, however I cannot aid or avail you, من الله من شيء, I cannot avail anything from you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala afflicts you. إن الحكم إلا لله, indeed the decree belongs to Allah. عليه توكلت, only upon him I put my trust. وعليه, and only upon him فليتوكل المتوكلون, let those who put their trust in things put their trust in Allah. ولما دخلوا, when they entered Egypt, من حيث أمرهم أبوهم, from where their father commanded them to do so, ما كان يغني عنهم, ما كان يغني عنهم, this advice of their father was not something that's going to help them, من الله من شيء, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to afflict them with anything. And whether or not their father advised them or not, whatever Allah decrees is still going to happen. And he wasn't saying that for any other reason. إلا except حاجة في نفس يعقوب قضاها, except that Yaqub had a desire in his heart that he wanted to satisfy. وإنه, and indeed Yaqub, لذو علم, is a possessor of knowledge, لما علمناه, أي لتعليمنا إياه, because of us teaching him. ولكن أكثر الناس, but the majority of the people, لا يعلمون, they do not know. Here, what it's saying is, they finally went and made the journey. So the father let them. This time they've gone with who? The 10 brothers and Binyamin. And they've been commanded to go from separate gates, separate doors to enter the borders to prevent them from evil eye. Allah is saying here, they went and done that. Allah is saying, the only reason Yaqub told them to do that was not because Yaqub believed in his heart that he could prevent them from getting evil eye. La. Because Yaqub is a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who's knowledgeable. He knows the deen. He knows Tawheed. He knows that he doesn't actually have power to prevent his children from being harmed. The reason why he said to his children whatever he said to them was because he had a desire in his heart that he just wanted to fulfill. Just like any father has a desire of protecting their children. So just because of that feeling inside him, that desire for his children to protect them, he just said, you know what, let me say it to them. But deep down he did not believe that he could benefit them or harm them. And the reason for this is because Yaqub is a prophet of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught him the deen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught them Tawheed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught him the Tawheed. And therefore he wouldn't fall into such mistake. So what happened now? They went to Egypt. They entered the borders. They all went through different gates. And they finally went back to who? Yusuf. Who for them is not Yusuf. For them is just the minister of finance of Egypt. وَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا, when they entered على Yusuf, upon Yusuf, the minister of finance, when they finally entered upon him, so they went into his cabinet, his room, his office. آوَى إِلَيْهِ, Yusuf brought close and took to a side أَخَاهُ, his brother. قال, then Yusuf said, إِنِّي I, أخوك, am your brother. فَلَا تَبْتَئِسْ, do not be distressed, بما كانوا يعملون, about that which they have done. Yusuf, they entered upon him, they went inside his office. Remember again, he's in the parliament, he works for the government, he's there, the minister of finance, his status, X, Y, and Z. When they entered upon him, he saw that it was his brothers that have come back. But this time they've come back with Binyamin. So what he done was, he took Binyamin to a side, he brought him close to him and he took him to the side. And he whispered to him quietly and said, I am your brother. Is he not the brother of the others as well? Why did he say, I am your brother? They're also his brother. What he means is full brother. He's saying the brother from both mom and dad. I am your brother, Yusuf. The one who got lost and apparently got eaten by a wolf, etc. I am him. I was thrown down a well, and he told him very briefly the story, but he said, I am your brother. The reason he whispered is so they do not know. And he said to them, he said to Binyamin, do not distress and be sad about that which they have done. and all the havoc they've caused and the issues they've done and the jealousy they have towards you and me and everything else, don't distress, don't worry about it, it's going to be fine. فَلَمَّا جَهَّزَهُمْ. So what did they come for? They came for what? They came to get their second supplies and also to pay for it as well. فَلَمَّا جَهَّزَهُمْ. When he provided them بِجِهَازِهِمْ with their supplies, جَعَلَ السِّقَايَةَ. He put the royal cup, he here is the Yusuf's servant. Yusuf's servant is the one who's doing the job. Or everything Yusuf's servant is doing. Yusuf's not doing any job here himself. He has workers. فَلَمَّا جَهَّزَهُمْ. When Yusuf's servant provided them بِجَهَازِهِمْ with their supplies, جَعَلَ he put, Yusuf's servant put, السِّقَايَةَ the royal cup, في رحل أخيه in the bag of his brother. ثم أذن مؤذن. And then a caller called out. Someone started shouting saying, أيتها العير, O people of the caravan. Talking to the boys, the 10 boys, and Yusuf's brother Binyamin. أيتها العير, O people of the caravan, travelers. إنكم indeed you. لسارقون والله your thieves. Look again, lamb came here. He never said إنكم سارقون. What did he say? إنكم لسارقون. One of you is 100% a thief. What happened here is, they came with Binyamin and the 10 of them, they came. And Yusuf went to the side, spoke to his brother, said X, Y, and Z, I'm your brother or whatever. Then the servant, one of the workers of Yusuf, he went to them, he started giving them their loads. He packed their bags for them, put loads in there for them, meaning a camel load of grains. Once he finished, he put inside the bag of Binyamin, he put inside there the royal cup. The royal cup is the cup that the servant was using to get the grains out and then pour it in for them. He would get the grain out, pour it in for them. He was pouring the grains into their bags for them, right? This cup that he was using was called the royal cup. As-Siqaya. The reason why it's called a royal cup is the king of Egypt, he used to drink with it. It was a normal cup which he used to drink from. Once the drought occurred and everything else, he transferred that cup from being a cup that he uses to being the cup that is used to pour and give the grains to people who ever come for it. It's the measuring cup. It went from being the royal cup to the measuring cup. In the next verse, it's going to be described as the measuring cup rather than the royal cup. Okay? When he put inside, so the servant put inside the bag of Binyamin. It's important you know it's Binyamin's bag, specifically out of all of them. He put inside there the cup. And then suddenly, someone screamed from somewhere, saying, "Oh, travelers," meaning these 11 boys, "Oh, people of the caravan, wallahi, you're thieves." Why? Because someone has stolen the cup, the royal cup. In fact, it's going to be interesting the way they word it. And subhanAllah, the Qur'an is very, very, very specific. Look what they say. The reason, by the way, we're going to find out in a moment, the reason why the servant put the royal cup inside Binyamin's bag is why. Who can tell me why? Okay. So what? So they can take him. So Yusuf can keep who? Binyamin. Why? Because his father loves him. So what's that going to do? Huh? So the father can come later on. All of this, Allah said, كَذَلِكَ كِدْنَا لِيُوسُف, later in the verses. This is a plot of Yusuf. Allah is saying, like this, we inspired Yusuf to plot. This stuff is not happening for no reason. Yusuf is the one who told the servant, the royal cup, when you finish with it, put it inside this boy's bag. Once you put it in his bag, say they're thieves, they came to steal. What's going to happen next? They're going to look inside the bags. Oh, it was you who stole. So then they're going to give him a punishment which we'll come on to. فَلَمَّا جَهَّزَهُمْ, when the servant provided them بِجَهَازِهِمْ, with their supplies, جَعَلَ, the servant of Yusuf put السِّقَايَةَ, the royal cup, فِي رَحْلِ أَخِيهِ, in the bag of his brother. ثُمَّ, and then أَذَّنَ مُؤَذِّنٌ, a caller called out, shouting, saying, أَيَّتُهَا الْعِيرُ, O people of the caravan, إِنَّكُمْ لَسَارِقُونَ, وَاللَّهِ, you're thieves. قالوا, they all responded and said, وَأَقْبَلُوا وَالْحَالِ أَقْبَلُوا, they responded whilst they turned towards him. Because look, where were they going to? Back to where? To Sham. They're going back to Yaqub, their father. So as they're going, the caller said, oh people of the caravan, you're thieves. قالوا, they said, وَأَقْبَلُوا عَلَيْهِمْ, they turned back to the servants. أَقْبَلُوا عَلَيْهِمْ, they turned back. They said, ماذا تفقدون, what have you lost? قالوا, they responded, the servants responded, نفقد, we have lost, صواع الملك, the measuring cup of the king. See, now it's a different word. First time it was a siqaya, the cup that the king drinks from. But now it's become صواع الملك, the measuring cup of the king. وَلِمَنْ جَاءَ بِهِ, the reward for whoever gives it back, حِمْلُ بَعِيرٍ, is an extra camel load of grains. وَأَنَا بِهِ زَعِيمٌ, and I, the lead of the servants, بِهِ زَعِيمٌ, I am going to guarantee it for them. So what happened now? The boys, they turn around, they said, what have you lost? What is it, the thing that you've lost? Scholars, they said, look, they never said, what did we steal? What did they say? What have you lost? ماذا تفقدون, is to prove their innocence. Is to show, because they're innocent, someone who's stolen something, who knows they've stolen something, they'll turn and say, Akhi, what did I steal from you? Compared to, Akhi, what have you lost? And you've lost it. It hasn't been taken from you, you've just lost it. Scholars, they said that this proves their innocence. Then the servants responded, we have lost the measuring cup of the king. Then they said, whoever amongst you 11 boys, because we know you've stolen it, 100%. Whoever amongst you gives it back, we're going to give him a reward. That reward is going to be, we're not just going to give you one load. Because remember I said every single boy was only allowed to be given one camel load of grains. He said, whoever gives it back, we're going to give them an extra. And he said, I'm going to guarantee this for you. Don't worry. It's on me. قالوا, they replied and said, Tallahi, we swear by Allah, لَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمْ, you know, مَا جِئْنَا, we have not come, لِنُفْسِدَ فِي الْأَرْضِ, we haven't come to cause corruption in Egypt, وَمَا كُنَّا سَارِقِينَ, and wallahi, you know that we are not thieves. قالوا, they said, the workers responded and said, فَمَا جَزَاؤُهُ, then what is the punishment? What is the punishment for the person who has stolen? In kuntum kadhibin, if we show that you're liars. We search you, we find it. What's the punishment going to be? You tell us the punishment. قالوا, they said, the brothers said, جزاؤه, the reward of that person who you find it in his bag, the thief, man wujida, istirqaqu man wujida. It will be the enslavement of whoever you find. Istirqaq, which means enslavement, is deleted. So the punishment for whoever you find it in his bag is going to be istirqaqu man wujida, the enslavement of whoever you find in his bag. في رحله فهو جزاؤه. That is going to be his reward. كذلك, like this, نجزي الظالمين, we reward and give as a punishment to the oppressors. Look at this now. Yusuf is smart. He said to the servants, go and say to them, Khalas, you're saying you're not lying, right? Are you sure you're innocent? He said, yes. Yusuf said, when you ask them that, if they respond and say, Wallahi, we haven't stolen, suggest to them, if we find it in anyone's bag, then you tell us, oh young boys, what is the law in your land? What's the law? Yani, what is the reward? What's the punishment for someone who steals in your land, Sham? Look, he said, فَمَا جَزَاءُ. The servants are asking the boys, what's the reward? What is the punishment for someone who steals in Sham? The reason for this, Ibn Kathir, he says, is in the land of Sham, where Yaqub was the leading / he was the prophet of, the law there was istirqaqu man wujida fi rahlihi, is to enslave. You don't go to prison, you don't get lashed, you don't get your handcuffed. La. The law was you become a slave, you get taken and you work for the person that you've stolen from. The reason Yusuf said, ask them what punishment we give them, is because in the law of Egypt, which Yusuf knows well now, their law is different. It's not enslavement. And what does Yusuf want? He wants to keep Binyamin. So he's saying, whatever law you want to pick, khalas, pick it. So they said, khalas. The law for us is, whoever's bag you find it in, enslave him. Take him with you. So what happened was, after this, look again, كَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الظَّالِمِينَ. Who's saying this? Like this is the reward for the thieves. كَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي. This is how we reward. The boys are saying this, the people of Sham. This is the way we reward الظَّالِمِينَ, the oppressors, meaning the sinners. So what happened then? فَبَدَأَ the slave, فَبَدَأَ, the servant of Yusuf began searching بِأَوْعِيَتِهِمْ. He began searching their bags قَبْلَ وِعَاءِ أَخِيهِ, before searching the bag of Yusuf's brother. Who did he start searching first? The 10 boys. Then the 11th search is going to be Binyamin. ثم استخرجها, and then he brought it out من وعاء أخيه. He brought it out from his brother's bag. كذلك, just like this, كدنا ليوسف, like this we inspired Yusuf to plot. ما كان ليأخذ أخاه. It is not befitting for him to take his brother في دين الملك, under the ruling of the king. إلا أن يشاء الله, except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills. What that means is, it would not have been correct to take ruling upon his brother under the law of the king, because then his plotting would not have worked. نرفع درجات, we increase the stations of من نشاء, whoever we will. وفوق كل ذي علم, and above all people who know, there is علم, وفوق, above كل ذي علم, above all people who have knowledge, عليم is one who has more knowledge. Allah told us that Yusuf now came and he started to search himself. But he began, because Allah inspired him to begin with the 10 other brothers, and then at the end make the 11th person his brother. Why? Ibn Kathir, he says again, he said, because if he would have went to, because Yusuf knows what bag it's in. Yusuf doesn't need to check and whether, he knows whose bag it's in. He's the one who said put it in the boy's bag, Binyamin. But if he would have started with Binyamin first, he would have found it straight away. They would have accused him of it being his plot. They would have said, look, you found it straight away because you knew it was in his bag. But if he checks the 10 first, I can't find it, nope, it's not you, it's not you. It's you. At the end, it will make it more realistic. For that reason, Allah said, كَذَلِكَ كِدْنَا لِيُوسُف. We made Yusuf plot like this. We're the ones who inspired him to do so. Why? نَرْفَعُ دَرَجَاتٍ مَنْ نَشَاءُ. We want to raise Yusuf by this. Because what's going to happen now, this is all part of the plan. What's going to happen is, Binyamin is going to stay behind. They're going to go back to the father and say, Khalas, your son has been enslaved. Where is his son? In Egypt. Unlike before with Yusuf, the father didn't know where Yusuf was, did he? No. So he gave up with him. But now he knows where his son Binyamin is. So what's he going to do? He's going to pack his bags and go to Egypt. And this is what Yusuf wants. He wants his father, the mother, and all of the boys to come. طيب. What happened after that? قالوا, they said, the boys said, إن يسرق, if Yusuf is the one who has, if Binyamin is the one who has stolen, فَقَدْ سَرَقَ أَخٌ لَهُ مِنْ قَبْلِ, then he has a brother who stole before as well, called Yusuf. فَأَسَرَّهَا يُوسُفُ فِي نَفْسِهِ. Yusuf, he realized this when they said it. What did Yusuf do? Did Yusuf jump and say, I'm Yusuf that you're talking about? Did he defend himself? لا. أَسَرَّهَا يُوسُفُ فِي نَفْسِهِ. Yusuf kept it a secret to himself that he is the actual Yusuf they're talking about. وَلَمْ يُبْدِهَا لَهُمْ. He did not make it apparent to them that he knows. قَالَ, he said to himself quietly, أَنْتُمْ, you people, شَرٌّ مَكَانًا, you are worse in station than him. He said it to himself. He never said it out loud. It's as though Allah is saying, Yusuf realized how evil these people are. So he said to himself, what evil people these guys are. Quietly to himself. Wallahu a'lamu, and indeed Allah knows, bima tasifuna, that which you are doing. So what happened then? They said to Yusuf, they said, Wallahi, if you're saying he's a stealer, he's a thief, you don't know anything. This man has a brother who also used to be a thief. Some narrations mention that Yusuf used to be accused, which is wrong as well, it's not true. But they claimed and said he has a brother, young brother of his, who was also a thief, and he used to cause corruption and everything else. And he's known for this. Why are they saying he has a brother? Because the jealousy from the beginning of the surah kicked in. The beginning of the surah, we learned that they were jealous of him and his brother, right? So it's as though they're ostracizing them. They are ostracizing his brother. They say, yeah, this guy has another brother and he's not one of us. If that is the case, Yusuf responded by saying, you guys are worse and Allah knows what you're plotting and doing. Now, they are going to get scared of what? Who do they need to go back to? Their father. And their father said, swear by Allah that you're going to bring him back. They swore by Allah. And they remembered the first time they didn't return back with Yusuf because they threw him down the well. So they need to first come up with a solution. They can't just leave. So what do? Qalu, the boy said, Ya ayyuhal aziz, O chief minister. They're talking to Yusuf. Look how Allah raises people, subhanAllah. Before they threw him down a well, and now they're begging him, say, Ayyuhal aziz, O chief minister, help us out, please. Qalu, they said, Ya ayyuhal aziz, O chief minister. Inna lahu, indeed he has, aban, a father, who's a shaykhan kabiran, old in age. فَخُذْ, so take, أَحَدَنَا, one of us 10, makanahu, in his position. Enslave one of us 10 and let us take him. What liars, subhanallah. Inna naraka, indeed we see you to be min al-muhsinina, from the good. Is Yaqub not their father as well? Is he also not their old father? Liars. They're saying to Yusuf, he has an old man, his father's old in age, he's crippled, he doesn't have energy. He needs someone to look after him. Yusuf is not dim-witted. He knows that these are his brothers, they're from the same father, they should also be looking after him. He's aware of everything. Yusuf knows everything. So what they said was to try to trick him. They said, he has a father of his, so take one of us 10 as a slave and let us go back with him and take him back to his father. That's what they said. And their excuse was, we see you to be a good person. Inna naraka min al-muhsinin. Do you guys see that the regular and constant and consistent characteristic Yusuf had in both high and low moments in his life was what? And yakuna min al-muhsinin. In prison, muhsinin. When he was with the wife of the minister, muhsinin. Now that he's a minister himself, muhsinin. Ihsan throughout his whole life. What was the ihsan that they saw from him? The ihsan they saw from him was that when they came the first time, what did he do? He hosted them very well. Gave them food, drink, mashallah, treated them good. What else did he do? He returned their money to them. Didn't even charge them. We see you're a good person. Do us an extra favor. Qala, Yusuf responded and said, Ma'adh Allah, a'udhu ma'adh Allah. I seek refuge in Allah the way He deserves to be sought refuge in. And na'khudha, that we take as a slave, illa man wajadana, except the one that we find mata'ana, our property, indahu, with him. Inna, indeed us, إِذَنْ, in that case, if we take someone else who hasn't done the sin, لَظَالِمُونَ, indeed we are oppressors ourselves. Yusuf's response was what? He's saying, I'm going to be fair. Yusuf is always going to fear Allah. Yusuf's main concern in life is to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do whatever Allah is pleased with. He said, I seek refuge. Just like he sought refuge from that woman who tried to make him do a sin, what did he do again? He sought refuge in these people who are trying to make him do a sin. What's the sin he's going to do? The sin is going to be by punishing someone who does not deserve to be punished. It's not allowed in Islam. And he in fact went through that himself. He's saying, I seek refuge in Allah to punish someone who does not deserve to be punished. If I do that and I replace one of you with him, I replace him with one of you, then I am also an oppressor. So they went back and forth, pleased, discussed, and begged him, etc. What happened after that? فَلَمَّا اسْتَيْأَسُوا, when they lost hope, minhu, in Yusuf, they lost hope in him. خَلَصُوا, they went to the corner. نَجِيًّا, and spoke privately, quietly between themselves. قَالَ كَبِيرُهُمْ, the oldest amongst them said, أَلَمْ تَعْلَمُوا, do you not know, O my brothers, أَنَّ أَبَاكُمْ, that your father, قَدْ أَخَذَ عَلَيْكُمْ مَوْثِقًا, do you not know that your father has taken upon you a strong oath, مِنَ اللَّهِ, by Allah, وَمِنْ قَبْلُ, and do you not remember before, مَا فَرَّدْتُمْ فِي يُوسُف, do you not remember before the failure you came with Yusuf? And you failed last time to come back with Yusuf. فَلَنْ أَبْرَحَ, he said, I am never going to leave al-arda, this land of Egypt, حتى, until يَأْذَنَ لِي أَبِي, until my father allows me to go. أو يحكم الله لي, or Allah, He decides for me to go. Otherwise I'm staying here in Egypt. وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الْحَاكِمِينَ, Allah is the best of rulers and deciders. They got together because they don't know what to do now. They're confused. Yusuf is taken, Binyamin. We need to go back and explain ourselves. What on earth should we do? They went to the corner between themselves. They left Yusuf so he doesn't hear them. They went to the corner. He said, guys, the oldest amongst them said, I'm not going to go back. Because our father, what did he say? Do not come back until Yusuf comes back as well. So there's no way I'm going to return to Sham. I'm going to stay on this earth. I'm going to stay on this land, Egypt, until I hear from my father that he's allowed me to come back. He's shown to be good and obedient to your father. Or Allah decides somehow, meaning I get kicked out or something else happens. Then Yusuf said to them, irji'u, or the oldest son, said to them, irji'u ila abikum, go back to your father, I'm going to stay here. فَقُولُوا, say to him, Ya abana, O our father, inna banaka, indeed your son, Binyamin, saraqa, he stole, he stole. وَمَا شَهِدْنَا, and we do not testify, إِلَّا بِمَا عَلِمْنَا, except that which we know. وَمَا كُنَّا لِلْغَيْبِ, and we are not, when it comes to the unseen, حَافِظِينَ, protectors. وَاسْأَلْ, and say to your father to ask, الْقَرْيَةَ أَهْلَ الْقَرْيَةِ, say to your fathers, ask the people of the village, التي كنا فيها, the village that we were in Egypt. Say, go around and ask the village. Say to him, did my son steal, etc. والعير التي أقبلنا فيها, and also ask the other people that we were traveling with when we were coming back to you. There's other people that were traveling as well who witnessed everything. Ask them if he stole. وإنا لصادقون, indeed say to him that we are truthful. What happened after that is that they went back to Egypt. And they need to now face their father. They need to explain what happened to. And that's where we're going to stop, inshaAllah ta'ala. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. We'll go for questions, and sisters, if they have questions, they can send it into the messages, inshaAllah. Huh? Announce it. Announce what? Huh? Do they go on Slido.com and then put in 189? Ah. Sisters, if they want to ask questions, they should go to Slido.com. S-L-I-D-O. Slido.com. S-L-I-D-O.com. And then put 189. Hey brothers, questions? From last lesson, previous classes, any questions? أهل القرية. Read it. فما جزاؤهم. نعم. استرقاق. نعم. Well, the reason I said that is, what is the verse says, what is the reward, what is the punishment for the one who you find the cup in his bag? They responded and said, جزاء من وجد في رحله أخيه. في رحله. They said, the reward is going to be whoever's bag you find the cup. That's all it says. So do you understand that? There's no actual punishment mentioned. There's no actual punishment mentioned. The way we know the word istirqaq means enslavement. Because Yusuf asked them, what do you want the punishment to be based upon your law? And we know through historical texts that the law then was to enslave. It was istirqaq. So I put the word istirqaq there because that was the punishment. And the reason why Allah didn't mention it is because it was known. It's something that's known already. The Kuffar of Quraysh knew it. Yes. On the last verse, the word in the ayah is irji'u. How do you know it is irji'u and not arja'u or urju'u? Good question. Anyone answer? Irji'u ila abikum. Why is it not urju'u or arju'u? Third letter. Now, so what you do is, you always look at the third letter. Whatever the third, if the third letter has a kasra, you put a kasra on it. Anything else, you put a dhamma on it. That's the way it is. You look at the third letter, irji'u. I, alif, ra, jim. What's on the jim is a kasra. There's a kasra on it, you put a kasra on the alif. If there's a dhamma on it, you put a dhamma on the alif. If there's a fatha on the alif, what do? Give me an example. If there's a fatha, قرأ يقرأ اقرأ, you put a kasra. So you put a kasra, basically the easier way in fact. You look at the third letter. If the third letter has a kasra or a fatha, it's a kasra. If it has a dhamma, put a dhamma. Make sense? Easier way. That's a hard way. Easier way is you put whatever is on the third letter. Except if there is a fatha, and there's a reason for that. You know, Arabic is, Allahumma barik, Arabic is one of the high level languages. How do you say, qara'a yaqra'u? How do you say I read in the present tense? Present tense, I read. Or I am reading. I am reading. Huh? Louder, louder. Aqra'u. So aqra, right? Aqra. I am reading. Aqra. How do you say you are reading? Taqra. We are reading. Naqra. He is reading. Yaqra with a ya. Good. So how do you say I? Aqra. Good. If I follow this rule, what's in the... If I follow this rule, yaqra'u, what's on the third letter? Fatha, right? If I follow the rule, whatever's on the third letter, put on the beginning, alif. What would it be if I do a command? Instead of iqra, what would it be? Huh? Aqra. Then what's going to happen is the command, which is iqra, and the fi'l mudari' aqra is going to look the same. How do you know if you're saying fi'l mudari' or command? Does that make sense? So to avoid that, they put a kasra there. So the easier rule anyway is, whatever's on the third letter, you put on the first letter. Unless there's a fatha, that doesn't follow the rule, you put a kasra on it. واضح? How did the brothers not notice Yusuf? The reason the brothers did not notice Yusuf, we mentioned in the lesson, is because Yusuf, when they threw him in the well, which was the last time they saw him, he was a baby boy, he was a kid. From the time he became a slave, and then he went to prison, and then he became a king, was a very long time. So he grew and he looked different. But they didn't look different because they were already older in age, because they're from the first wife. 1 second. Why did the brothers of Yusuf lie to their father about what happened to him? Why did they lie to their father about what happened to him? Even though they knew it would hurt their father deeply. Typical sister question, isn't it? I'm joking. Sisters, mashallah, they're very loving and caring, mashallah. They're worried about Yaqub alayhi salam. Remind me, when in the story when did they lie to the father? In the beginning. I thought it was today's lesson, sorry. If it's talking about when they threw him in the well and they said he was eaten by a wolf, it's simple because their jealousy was so much and their animosity towards their half-brother, Yusuf, that overruled their feelings that they would have had for their father crying. The jealousy, this is one of the evils, this is one of the biggest diseases of the heart. How can your jealousy become so much and your hatred towards your brother that you don't even mind your father being sad and whatever for it? It's basically because of the jealousy they had. Secondly, they don't want to be caught for the sin that they've done, or shall I say the crime that they've done, and then hold with capital punishment. Now, does it say how old Yaqub was? No. Will you teach us all these Arabic rules? No. How do people from Egypt understand those from Sham? I don't know the answer. I'm smart because someone asked, and I don't know the answer to this. Assalamu alaikum, someone told me that Yusuf alayhi salam was mixed race. Are there any evidences supporting this? Is it true? I don't know. Allahu alam. Other questions, brothers here?
Why is it happening?
It's khabaru kana. Khabaru kana is mansoob. And hafidhin is a ism mudhakkar as-salim, which is jam'u mudhakkar as-salim, and it shows nasb by a ya. وَمَا كُنَّا لِلْغَيْبِ حَافِظِينَ. That's what you're asking. Hafidhin is because we وَمَا كُنَّا لِلْغَيْبِ حَافِظِينَ. Yes, so it's talking about the decree. We don't protect the decree. It's not about knowing. We don't protect it. We don't control it. Hafidhin, yani we're not overlookers over what Allah decides to happen or not. Does that make sense? So I thought you said, why is it hafidhin? Not hafidhun. That's what I thought you said. Sorry. Any other questions? Why was Yaqub concerned about? Because he knew evil eye is something that exists. And he had knowledge. He was a prophet. So Allah gave him revelation. Just like the Prophet ﷺ told us, Inna al-ayna haqq. Evil eye is true. And it leads to death. So he knew jealousy and evil eye and these things exist on the earth. So he was scared, not scared, but he was cautious about evil eye because his children was you here from the beginning of the class? That he was beautiful, kids, etc. La. The reason why though he was scared of evil eye is because all of his 11 boys were very good looking, handsome. And secondly, they were all from one father, so he had 11 kids. And it wasn't something common to have many kids like that. So he feared that if people see these 11 young, handsome boys coming into the country, the city, and no one knows them, evil eye might hit them basically. I mean, the only experience that we know of is the jealousy that his 10 boys had on his 2 sons, basically. He knew about that, yes. Because he's the one that told his son Yusuf, don't tell your brothers about your dream. So he knew this jealousy, evil eye, he knew about this stuff. Did you understand it?
Yes.
Inshallah, he will explain it to you, inshallah. Did you understand it? Yaqub? Huh? Yes or no? Man, turn on Surah Daweh Kahadlis, Yaqub, but you're not listening. Huh? Don't worry, he will explain it to you, inshallah. He understood it well. Any other questions? Is Yusuf's mother currently alive? Good question. From the apparent, yes. Why? What about the dream?
Yeah, like they're gonna come and
We're going to know that inshallah next lesson. But the short answer is yes, she's still alive. But the 10 boys, their mother's not alive. But next lesson you'll see the evidence to show why they're alive. Because they're all going to come to him in Egypt and prostrate, and then the dream will become true. Yes? Why did Yusuf not confront them at first? Because Yusuf was plotting to keep Binyamin. If he told them, I know you guys, who you are and everything, then his plan would not go to plan. So what did he do? He hid it from them that he knows who they are, acted like he didn't, and came up with another plan, which is to put the bag in there and say he's a thief. So if he tells them he knows who they are, etc., his whole plan would go to waste. Yeah? Ayyuha al-Aziz means so look, the word Aziz, loosely translated as minister. That's number one. Number two, the linguistic meaning of it actually is someone who has some form of power and might, control. Someone who has, control and might. The reason why the minister is called that is because he has some control over certain things. The minister's wife, I said to you, it was narrated by Israeliyat that his name was also Aziz anyway. So when they say Ayyuhal Aziz to Yusuf, what they mean is, oh minister, not the name of the minister. That's the other minister. But Yusuf is also a minister now anyway. He's Minister of Finance.
He could go to Sham.
What do you mean?
I mean, he kept his brother just in wife his father and family. I mean, he could go to Sham.
Good question. I don't know the answer to that. Anyone know the answer to that? Why doesn't Yusuf just make life easier and go to his father in Sham, instead of making his father come to Sham and thinking his son's also been enslaved, etc., etc. Maybe because, to be honest, this is just a suggestion, but it has evidence for the next stuff that's going to come. Yusuf, the whole time, his whole plan and plot is, or the storyline, shall I say, that his family all come and they see that he's of a high status, high position. Because of that dream, them all prostrating to him. Does that make sense? If he goes to them, he's just going as a person. They're not going to see his kingdom, his huge... They're not going to see all of this stuff that he has. He's just going to come as a person and be like, oh yes, Yusuf, you're our son. So you're just our son, nothing else. But if they go and see this kingdom of his and the rulership he has, then it's going to be different. There's a reason to prostrate. Does that make sense? That's the suggestion, but that's not anyway. It doesn't really say that, but that's the only thing that would make sense. The whole story is so they can come and be like, wow. That's not going to happen if he goes to them. Anyone can put a crown on. No. Dayib, we'll stop there inshallah ta'ala. I am late today, so I'm going to go straight home. So I'm going to go straight. No one please ask anything, stop me or anything like that, inshallah ta'ala. Yes. Sure. Yes. Yes, he is. He is alive. Do you understand why it's not a good question, Adiga? You laughing. Why are you laughing? So explain it to him. Explain to him that he was sleeping the whole lesson. But we'll stop there inshallah. There's no more sisters. Does Yaqub hate the other brothers? No, he doesn't hate them. Yaqub is the father, he will never hate them. طيب سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.